Yo, everybody, welcome. Listen, I am only here for the esteemed honor to introduce your incredible host. We are going to introduce this incredible poet who, from the very first time they competed, they've made final stage every time. They've appeared at Southern Fried final stage 11 times. They have won it 2 times with teams 2, 1, 5th, and minor team. And they won first place Indy in 2003, Southern Fried New Orleans. Y'all, this is my very good friend, a poet who I consider a mentor, the only person who has consistently talked trash to me and also built me up. Please give it up for your host for Indy Finals, the incredible Liz Straight.
Hey, I'm popping and locking, but it's not looking great, so I'll stop. Thank you, Cuban. That was an awesome introduction. I'm so excited to be here. Welcome to the judges, welcome to the poets, welcome to those watching on the live stream, and welcome to the 29th annual Southern Fried Regional Poetry Slam Indy Finals, the virtual edition. Y'all give it up for yourselves for being a part of this amazing event. And now I am going to get into the MC spiel for Indy Finals, since I am your MC, Liz Straight. So, at Southern Fried, we believe Black Lives Matter. We support and believe in the rights of our LGBTQ community, and we believe every person should have equal access to living their best lives physically, spiritually, and artistically. We encourage you to be respectful of everyone's identity and remember that every person on this stage has equal value. At Southern Fried, we judge poems, not people. This afternoon, you will see 12 indie poets who worked really hard to be here in the preliminary rounds. Just to make everything clear, this first round that they're going to compete in is a random draw. The order of performance in the second and third rounds is based on the cumulative scores of the poets from high score to low score. After the first round, the highest 8 scoring poets progress to the second round. After the second round, the top 4 scoring poets advance to the final round. Again, scores are cumulative. The highest cumulative scoring poet wins and will be crowned our Indy Southern Fried Poetry Slam champion of 2021. So, all competing poets, if you are present in the Zoom bout, please make sure to mute your mics and turn your cameras off when you are not performing. For everyone else, just so that we're clear, in a poetry slam, there is no music, there are no costumes or props, and each poet will be performing their original work. Poems may be up to 3 minutes long, but after a 20-second grace period, because this is finals, the performer loses points for going over time. Judges, all my judges, Thank you so much. The struggle is real to find judges, so you are the true rock stars tonight. Judges, turn on your cameras at this time if they're not already on. We ask that your cameras remain on during the poems. This bout is attended by poets who are logging in from all around the world, and the competitors, like I said, they've worked really hard, so please give their poetry your love and undivided attention. We have pre-selected judges this year, everyone. And should I introduce the judges? Yes, I have their names. Bout manager.
Yeah, you can introduce them if you're down.
Okay, judge number 1, we got Millie from Philly. Judge number 2, Julian. Judge number 3, Anthony. Judge number 4, Lourdes. And judge number 5, Allison. So those are your judges for the evening. The judges will give each poem a score from 0 to 10, with 10 being the highest. They will be encouraged to use 1 decimal place in order to, preclude the likelihood of a tie. Each poem will get 5 scores. The high and the low scores will be dropped, and the remaining 3 scores will be added together for the poet's score for that particular poem. Judges are not affiliated with the poets performing this afternoon, but we're excited to find out what they think because they're the experts. These judges are, like I said, giving their time, giving their energy, volunteering. So feel free to use the chat to let the judges know if you agree with them or not. Let them know how you feel. And judges, don't let the audience sway you. You are the experts. 2 exclamation points, even though I didn't raise my voice. So if you're in the chat, you can also use the reaction buttons to show your support for the poem. If you're joining us via the live stream, leave us comments, use your emojis, and feel free to interact with us on social media and share with your friends. If you like the poetry you hear this afternoon, we're going to post the contact information for the poets that are competing. So if you'd like to purchase their merchandise or support them in any other way, you'll have the opportunity to do that. Southern Fried merchandise is available on our website, and tickets to Team Final Stage can be purchased through Eventbrite. We would love to have you join us as these poets battle for the 2021 Southern Fried Team Poetry Championship. So before we get the slam going, now that all the official spiel content is basically out of the way, we're going to need to have some calibration poets, some poets to get us warmed up, ready to go, and in the mood for a fire poetry slam. So just so we're clear, judges especially, these calibration poets, we're going to have 2 tonight. They're not a part of the competition, but you're going to judge them the same way you'll be judging all the competing poets, okay? So judges, you may use this poet's score as your baseline of reference for the poems that you'll judge during the Indie Finals bout this afternoon. So my sacrificial poets, I've got 2. And before we get started with the first one, all right, we got at Brandon Alexander Williams coming up as my first sacrificial poet. Can you say hello just to check your mic?
Hello, hello.
All right. First sacrificial poet is ready to go. Are y'all ready to go? Make some noise, even though everybody's probably muted. All right. Bringing up to the Zoom screen our first sacrificial poet, at Brandon Alexander Williams.
When I first met Shorty, she was working for the bank. It's like that gig had her enslaved, hooked up to a chain at the counter. And before the counter would give the clerk the number onto the display onto the paper, she would write customers' names. And it made her. Job really that simple and plain, but I chose to take her and separate her from them chains so I could make her useful for writing more than a digital phrase on just some paper or sitting there wasting away. So I said, baby, I'm going to take you back to see my pad. And if it gets late, I got to cover in seats. You can lay sleep on that. And that old job, you never work another week. In fact, when you're rolling with me, it seemed like you never have to complete a task. See, she called me Mr. Right. She told me to grip her tight. She said, I'll never run out on you. If I do, I'll just die. See, boo, I love our relationship and love life because it's never give and take with you. It's just right. You see, my last girlfriend was a yellow red bone. She was way too sharp and always laid headstrong. I should have known straight from the gate. She had low self-esteem. She was always erasing mistakes. I mean, it really wasn't working for me. She eventually got dull trying to be too perfect for me. And you could tell her that you heard it from me. Because I'd much rather scribble out the page so I can remember what I say. Because I see mistakes as perfect imperfections. But with perfection, she was too overly obsessed with. I said, baby, You were basically kind of crazy. You got me embarrassed to claim you as my lady. Plus, when it comes to the paper that I make and give it to you at a certain angle, you kind of shady. And now you lazy. You just sit there stationary. In addition to wasting my paper, misusing my stationery. But I see this as a learned lesson and I'll take it. Because I could have been investing in replacements, but she got down to the point where she was just like a professional eraser. So I'm confessing that I just had to erase her. In order to bring you all back to my world, the first verse, I'm rapping as if my pen is my girl. See, she called me Mr. Right. She told me the gripper tight. She said, I'll never run out on you. If I do, I'll just die. See, boo, I love our relationship and love life because it's never give and take with you. It's just right. When I first met Shorty, she was working for the bank. It's like that gig had her enslaved, hooked up to a chain at the counter. And before the counter would give the clerk the number onto the display, onto the paper, she would write customers' names, and it made her. Job really that simple and plain, but I chose to take her and separate her from them chains so I could make her useful for writing more than a digital phrase on just some paper. Sitting there wasting away, so I said, baby, I'm going to take you back to see my pad. And if it gets late, I got a cover and sheet. You can lay sleep on that. And that old job, you never worked another week. In fact, when you're rolling with me, it seemed like it never happened. So for you to understand what I was into, the second verse, my ex-girlfriend was a pencil. My last girlfriend was a yellow lead bone. She was way too sharp and always led headstrong. I should have known straight from the gate. She had low self-esteem. She was always erasing mistakes. I mean, it really wasn't working for me. She eventually got dull trying to be too perfect for me. And you can tell her that you heard it from me. Because I can remember what I say. I see my what perfection she was too overly obsessed with. I said, baby, you were basically kind of crazy. You got me embarrassed to claim you as my lady. And that's that piece.
All right, y'all give it up for the poet. Sacrificial coming through. Judges, y'all get ready. Judges, I need you to please provide a score for our first sacrificial poet at Brandon Alexander Williams. I'm excited. All right. We've got 1, 2, 3 scores, waiting on 2 more judges. Okay, got 4 scores, waiting on 1 more. All right, judge number 5.
Judge 5's present still? Are you there?
Let me know.
Cool.
There we go.
We just want to remind you, please make sure you are in a stable place and you're sitting as stable and as stationary as possible so that we know you are being as attentive as possible, and try to leave on your cameras if you can. Please, please, please.
All right, we have our scores for our first sacrificial poet at Brandon Alexander Williams from lowest to highest. We have a 7.5. We have another 7.5. We have a 7.8, an 8.5, and a 10. 10, 10, 10. All right, judges, thank you so much for your scores. And now my scorekeeper is going to read the score, yes? Scorekeeper, thank you, scorekeeper. That gives our sacrificial poet a score of 23.8. Give it up again for at Brandon Alexander Williams. Thank you so much. Now let's get ready for our second sacrificial poet of the night, afternoon, whatever time it is. All right, y'all give it up for our second sacrificial poet. Give it up for Breeze. Breeze, say hello, check your mic.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, you good to go.
She was like, hey, I got a question. What's the difference between Frederick and Breeze? You know, I never really considered there being a, well, I would answer you. But first I have to know which one of us you think you talking to. Wait. I got a question. What's the difference between a therapist and a nosy person just trying to screw with my fucking head, right? Because you know you're not a therapist. So that would make you a nosy person just trying to screw with my Frederick always gets like this. protects everything he wants to give people from people. He's like a guard dog that would love to play fetch. He just refuses to let go of the stick or his heart or his demons. I mean, he wants people to see him. He just doesn't want to be exposed. He's very abstract art, paints passion with how he loves, and it can only picture the pain and broken that loving heart has always left him with. So all you end up with is this beautifully shattered, open wound beating on the canvas of his. I don't really know how to explain it, you know, but it does remind me of this movie I seen one time. Oh, okay. You want to talk about Breeze? Then the poet who puts love in his art thinks writing is his heart's form of freedom. But that's so stupid. He's not free because he can articulate his chains. You know, it's so stupid. When he takes his shoes off on stage as if the space be safe, be sacred for him. But there's nothing safe about bleeding pretty for people who aren't going to help you clean up the mess you make of yourself. They chant, go in, poet, and they never even consider how the hell you'll get out. I get it though. You know why he's so guarded. I mean, he hates being misunderstood, and no one really tries to understand him. They just sit comfortable in their assumptions, use him as a scapegoat to justify how badly they treat him. I watch him be caution taped into a cage quite often. It's so sad. I look at him these days and he looks like a crime scene. I can't tell if he's a murder victim or a suicide weapon. All I can tell you is that it's killing our heart. And it's so sad because honestly, that's the best part of the movie. The movie where this guy, he kidnaps these 3 girls, right? And he has a bunch of unknown personalities living in it. Oh, okay. You want to talk about Breeze, huh? You want to use Breeze's openness to expose how closed I seem. How? Let's explore that, shall we? This openness only makes him a gun range, a bullseye, a target for rifle rhetoric. He doesn't understand love is a fighting word. Why the hell you think the size of the heart is a fist in the first place? Honestly, he's so weak. I'm tired of him calling me weak. He doesn't understand the strength it takes to hold on to anything. Honestly, he's just a coward who measures his strength on how far he can push people away. Breeze is just a buffet of trauma, offering himself up. Probably want to pick through our scars to get full of our faults, leave without ever finishing the plate. So all that stuff on the table's dirty from the scraps of us. They always leave behind. They always leave us. Split. That's the name of the movie. The pump. Anyway, I don't really know how to answer this question. All I can tell you is there is such a difference. I hope there's someone out there who can just love all of me.
All right, everyone. That was Breeze, our second sacrificial poet of the bout. Judges, we are ready for your scores. And I'm still excited. We're almost there. All right. Thank you, judge number 1. All right. Y'all getting the hang of it now, judges. I see you. Got judge number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Judges, thank you so much for your scores. Scorekeeper. All right, let's read these scores from low to high. We have an 8.0. We have another 8.0. We have an 8.3, an 8.5, and a 9.5. That gives Breeze a score of 24.8. Show some love for the poets, ladies and gentlemen. And everyone in my audience.
And Liz, you are doing an incredible job as host. I really appreciate it. I just want to step in real quick. And before we get started formally with this bout, I just want to ask Judge 5, are you able to prop up your camera somewhere so that there isn't a lot of movement happening? You could if you are able to prop it, that would be wonderful, just so that our poets feel like we have your full and undivided attention. Perfect. Thank you, Judge 5. All right.
All right, we good, bout manager Cuban?
Feel like we are good. Thank you all so much for being patient.
Patience is a virtue. Did you know that?
Patience is a virtue. I be loving patience.
All right, so we ready to get everything going for our official start of the Indie Final event? I think so. I know you think so, because that's why we're all here. So we're going to get ready to call up our first poet in the Indie Final bout. All right, first poet of the bout, y'all give it up for Quinology. Quinology, go ahead and say hello, test your mic so we make sure you're all good, okay?
Okay. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I am denouncing my black girl magic because it is blessing and a burden, holy and sacrificial. At any moment, I could disappear and no one would come looking for me. I could die in a cell, but the trick is I did not kill myself. I can make you think that I'm fine and healthy when my body has been kidnapped for sex cults. People think that my blood shines, that my bruises sparkle. My body has been poked, prodded, procured to find reason for my very extraterrestrial existence. My body has been raped, robbed, run through, run over like railroad track. Henrietta lacked mouth, more hole than heaven, breasts, more toy than nutrients, thighs, more alleyway than guarded gates. I hate being told that I have black girl magic. Because I can stand here decomposing in front of all of you, but you wouldn't believe me because black girls don't cry. We don't die. We are magic. A lie that I have swallowed. A lie that I'm tired of carrying on my back. Tired of being raped and no one acknowledging my pain. Tired of dying and no one saying my name. You too, while listening to this poem, still don't see me. You see a black girl miraculously enchanting, so when I cry, it's spectacle. When I die, it's sacrificial. How many more of our bodies must be buried for you recognize that we are real? When Korean Games were shots in front of her son, it wasn't glitter that oozed out of her body. It was blood. Sandra Bland did not disappear. She was murdered. Jessica Savage is not okay, and to this day, there are 219 Nigerian girls still missing. Black women are not superheroes in capes, invincible to pain. We have simply adapted to our chains of menstrual, and men and their cycles. Behind every strong black man is a black woman they use for practice. Black women are like stars. Dying combustible balls of flame. Please say our name. We'll get used to having this magic if everyone is using it but me. Shalila Lyles, Rakia Boyd, Natasha McKenna, Maya Hall, Kendra James, Breonna Taylor, Ma'Khia Bryant. I promise you I can die just like you. I can cry just like you. Bend my back, low my dignity to you. Black girl been mother before she was child. Black girl been muse. Black girl been tool. What was wings on my back are now just swollen welt spells I simply praise. My blood doesn't sparkle, but no one cares as long as there's a show. That's the piece. Thank you.
All right. Judges, we need your scores. All right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, waiting on the 5th score. Okay, great. Judges, y'all are coming through. You doing it fast. I like that. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.7. We have another 8.7, a 9.1, a 9.0, a 9.1, and a 9.5. Waiting on my scorekeeper. I like this background, nice and bright and pink. Oh man, I feel so encouraged. All right, that gives us a 26.8 for Quinology. Show some love for poets and poetry tonight. I'm so glad that everyone is making the choice to be here at this event in the middle of a Saturday afternoon. We are ready for our second poet of the bout. Second poet of the bout tonight, y'all show some love for Wesley Frazier Keys. All right, Wesley, say hello and check your mic.
Hello.
All right.
My barber is the son of the associate pastor at the King of Glory Church of God in Christ. So it seems fitting that I go to him when I need to fix my crown. These visits to the throne are not taken lightly. The barber's burden is heavy. The preacher's son knows. Oh, he knows that this is more than just a haircut. Here we heal. Here we debate deep social issues. For example, the top 5 NBA basketball players of all time, the top 5 rap albums of all time, the top 5 anything you can imagine of all time gets debated at the shop. Here his clients wait, chime in the conversation like bells, and he sometimes sings hymns while he cuts. And as he finishes the song and the taper, all of my problems seem to fade where I come from. Barbers fix more than just crooked linings. They blend art with craft, call it therapy. Back home, shops turn into Switzerland, neutral zones, watering homes where the manes of these lions sometimes have waves. And in the 90s, we rocked parts in our heads as if our scalps were the Red Sea itself. The shop is where haircuts turn into confidence and swagger. This is for my stepfather, stepping up and giving me my very first haircut. This is for the poster on the mirror in the shop. And on that poster featured every single haircut known to the culture. This is for seeing yourself in that poster. This is for the $7 haircuts from the barber college when you knew you didn't have it. This is for the cacophony of clippers and conversation. This is for the end, the burning sensation after he wipes freshly open skin with alcohol. This reminds me that sometimes beauty is pain. This reminds me that I am alive, and the barbershop is alive.
All right, judges. We are ready for your scores. Joop. All right, they're coming in quick. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 scores from our judges. Waiting on our 5th score. All right, from lowest to highest, we have a 7.8, an 8.5, and I'm sorry, let me go back. From lowest to highest, we have a 7.8, an 8.0, an 8.5, an 8.9, and a 9.1. Thank you so much, judges. Waiting on my scorekeeper. All right, that gives us a 25.4. Y'all give some love to the poem. All right, 3rd poet in this bout. We have coming up, Sherry Purpose Hall.
Hello, can you hear me?
All right, thank you so much, Sherry, for checking the mic. We can hear you, you're good to go.
Sorry, I don't look like what it is to be rape poem. Not Western beauty standard, waif thin, pale, too Black woman strong for you to imagine, forced, held down, controlled. Sorry, I'm not white feminist crying on microphone enough for you. Skin and land of origin, not exotic enough for you. History of slavery, not human trafficking enough for you. Sorry, my continued survival doesn't scream damaged enough for you. Audacity to still think myself as sexy, too bold for you, married and raising children, not post-traumatic enough for you to stress over. Sorry, I don't fit what it is to be rape poem to you, beautiful and emotionally messy. Sorry, your stereotypes weren't wide enough to include fat or Black, but I assure you exist. I know rape poems, read the forced love italics, the deafening blank space containing no edits for heroes, the irregular stanzas, all containing fragmented sentences, void proper punctuation except for periods. At some point, they all hope their periods come. I suppose the unfathomable to be true that rape in some sick, twisted sense is better than you, is more politically correct and socially savvy than you. Is it racist, ageist, ableist, colorist, or shallow like you? Rape takes in anyone it can hold on to. I know rape poems whose names are Jim, Tom, and Ed rather than Monica, Sharonda, or Sue. Rape poems that don't even identify as men or women. Rape poems with cerebral palsy, confined to wheelchairs, black, yellow, brown, overweight, pimple-faced, permanently disfigured rape poems that weren't scripted till they were in their 80s. I had the opportunity to teach a group of young middle school girl poems once and found that 8 out of 9 of them also identified as rape poems. And the one glimmer of hope I had, the one that wasn't, was transformed to violated calligraphy 2 weeks later. So I'm sorry if we don't fit into your Law and Order SVU version of a beautiful, fair, flowing-haired, outspoken rape poem goddess. I'm sorry I won't be your token episode. Sorry I won't get up on a microphone crying out all the gory details, giving you rape poem porn. Sorry you ain't gonna get your rocks off on this one. I'm sorry these sorries don't come attached to legitimate apologies. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right, judges. We are ready for your scores. Let's see what we got. All right, we got 1 score from a judge. We got 2, we got 3 scores from our judges. We have 4 and we have 5 from lowest to highest. We have a 7.5, an 8.8, a 9.9, a 9.5, and a 10. Thank you so much, judges. Waiting on my scorekeeper. I don't know about y'all, but there's nothing else I would rather be doing than hosting a poetry slam on this lovely Saturday afternoon. Thanks, Adam. All right, that gives us a 27.3. 27.3. Thank you so much, scorekeeper. And we are ready for our next poet of the bout. Next poet up is Nellie Bass.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Got it. Confessions of a Mixed Child. When a white woman gives birth to a black baby, her vagina becomes a middle passage, becomes a christening of hands across the stomach, like the bow of a slave ship blessed in prayer, that the bodies will arrive safely, that the umbilical cord won't attempt to knot like a legacy of lynching. When I was picked like the whitest piece of cotton, the word nigger was a baby shower gift my mother opened like everyone had the same idea for my homecoming. The face of racism is a family photo that hangs in my mother's living room, reminding me how they treated me like the help, how extended family dinners felt more like a lunch counter sit-in than a home-cooked meal. When your last name makes you mispronounce massa as mama, whiteness will ask you, well, what country did you adopt her from? Make a savior complex out of her love, mistaking your baby photos for a Feed the Children advertisement. Couldn't understand why a white woman would be holding a black baby unless it was for charity. The first time my father threatened to beat the black off me, I wondered if they loved me then. My mother's tears trying to bleach me of all the darkest parts, the reminder of my father, so I don't stand out like my family's dirty laundry, and that's what racism does. It tries to steal all your black joy, even steal your own mother away, make a microaggression out of her. Of course I'm not racist. My baby is black, and don't you forget you're white too. My mother tries to get me to hang on to the family tree, they'd rather have me hang from it. As if I don't know about the Klan's members I'm related to. As if these veins in the Underground Railroad clearly someone ain't escaped from.
My mother tells me racism isn't real, tries to use my existence as proof, and I tell her being biracial means there's a part of you who will always hate itself for no reason. I mean, look, Mom, even your white features didn't show up on this black skin, but what's she know about being a 1600 baby? When choosing your identity when mixed is a plantation reenactment. Despite how much you try to pass for what you already are, white ain't gonna claim you. But it's gonna gentrify all that blackness and tell you you don't belong here. Mom, I love you. Despite you trying to whitewash me into a more comfortable version, mistaking being pro-black with betrayal, thinking self-love was interchangeable for hating her, I am not ashamed of her. I just want her to understand how the world sees me before my death makes her find out the hard way. And ain't that appropriation, y'all? To have a biracial child and not know what their blackness means. Thank you.
All right, judges. We are ready for your scores. Let's go. All right, I have 1 score. I have 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, from lowest to highest, we have an 8, an 8.8, a 9.3, a 9.6, and a 10. We moving right along, and I'm feeling good about it. All right, scorekeeper, thank you so much. That gives our poet a score of 27.7. So just so y'all know, we're going to have a little break after poet number 6. So our judges can stretch, go to the bathroom, do whatever they need to do. I am personally going to eat most likely during that small break. So just so we know that is coming up. And now we are ready to move on to our next poet in the bout. All right. Our next poet in the bout is Derek S. Derek, where you at? Say hello for me, check your mic.
Hello, mic check.
All right, thank you so much.
Every year I witness a difference in the spending habits of people because of Christmas. Right after Thanksgiving, folks who broke increased their spending, and I've developed an opinion that Santa Claus is a pimp. He has a red and white cane with the limp. He has a pimp whip. Instead of a Cadillac on rims, he has a sleigh with reindeer, got some midgets whipping up gifts and 3 hoes in his bitch. He's depicted as a fabulous, and they pass willing to pimp coalition, and Iceberg Slim ain't got shit on him. Muslims try to prevent this since not declaring themselves Christian. He's the biggest pimp in existence, and Don Juan ain't got shit on him. He's a pedophile. Little children sit on him. Parents spend all of their money on gifts and blame that shit on him. Hell yeah, he's a pimp, and the kids are his main supplier. Airtrain and Southwest merch together, they wouldn't be flyer than his night sky riders. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer serves as his guide, and Americans with unemployment rates steadily rise. Us in Hasbro stand behind him, and dads trying to provide their kids with the credit. That's crazy. Actually, kind of creepy that y'all are cool with claws creeping down the chimney for cookies cooked by children, and great pimp idea to target the kids. Then when you tell them Santa ain't real, they feel lied to and despise you, despite your efforts of waiting outside of Walmart to catch those holiday sales while you can. What's the difference between elves and enslaved Africans? Nothing. Both are free labor. Well, that's what you get when you mix a pimp with a capitalist, and this ain't no accident. And not only do you have to deal with the high price of traveling, But listen to your kids babble about what's on their Christmas wish list. You get it, then got the nerve to tell them that it was old St. Nicholas. He has this habit of making folks forget why the holiday even exists. Keep me the definition of Christmas, and I'm confused because all this time I thought Jesus was the main figure. Turns out he's just a sidekick. Like Robin, sometimes he barely gets acknowledged, but from Black Friday to Christmas Eve, it's all about the prophets and not the ones from the Bible. And with that being acknowledged, start y'all Christmas shopping and fill y'all kids' stockings with presents. And for the naughty, you can keep the cold. So hurry up before the stoves close and make his money. Ho, ho, hoes.
All right, judges. Let's see those scores when you're ready. I got 1 score from a judge. Thank you so much. And we got 2 scores, and we have 3. And now we have 4. And now we have 5. From lowest to highest, we have a 7.2, an 8.5, another 8.5, an 8.6, and a 9.9. Y'all give it up for poetry. I'm sure you're cheering and screaming and clapping in the comfort of your own homes. Thank you so much, scorekeeper. That gives us a 25.6 for the poet. All right. Next poet in the bout. Okay, thank you. We are holding for a judge to return. Should I pause like this, bout manager Cuban?
That's perfect. Judge 5, take your time, but we're waiting on you. And
if I start drooling, it's your fault, Cuban.
And all judges and competitors know that we are going to take a formal break, a little pee break right after this poet. So we're just going to wait for Judge 5 to come on back. Judge 5, when you're ready, come on back.
I'm hungry. I want to know if anybody else is going to make this a food break.
It's gonna be a nice little break. You know,
I got enough to make a grilled cheese sandwich. I got enough time to make a grilled cheese sandwich.
Can you make a 5-minute grilled cheese sandwich? Like hard 5, not poet 5.
Judges, I want to thank you again for your commitment. Literally, I really appreciate y'all, and I will probably Postmate food to a bunch of y'all for doing this. So thank you. And we're going to take a little pee break right after this poem, give you opportunity to refresh and rejuvenate, and then we're going to go back in with the remainder of this round. Thank you so much, judges. I'm going to pass it back over to your host, Liz.
Thank you so much. And Adam, the answer is yes, if I use my clothing iron.
Rest.
Okay. I'm just joking. All right. Bout manager Cuban, you let me know when we're ready to go with Judge 5.
You're good to go.
Good to go now?
Good to go
right now. All right. Let's get back into this rotation. Our next poet up in the bout is Ayana. Ayana, you there? Let's hear a mic check so we know that you're good.
Mic check.
I'm sorry, do it again for me.
Mic check.
Thank you so much. You're good to go.
In this family, we always clean up before company arrives. Make sure the house is properly kept, the laundry folded, the linens fresh in this house. We good at putting on a show, of making sure people don't see our mess, our mistakes, our stains. We good at fixing, at refreshing, at filtering the flaws that only these walls have witnessed. How we good at putting things back where they belong. Like a child in a child's place when she wonder why that man keep coming in her room. We good at sweeping dirt under the rug, of cramming our skeletons into the closet. How we vacuum the stench of abuse from out these carpets and call it clean, spot-free, sparkle clean. And mama say, you better not leave those beds unmade. Better fluff them pillows like they new. Like they ain't never been used to swallow these tears, like these sheets ain't full of conviction and comfort at the same time. You see, for a long time, Black families been shushing Black children into secrets. Shaming them from sharing what lurks in the shadows, like monsters, like molesters, like mommy's cousin, like daddy's demons. How we always chastise them kids for just being kids, but spare the family rapists that spoil the child. How reunions are only reminders that what happens in this family stays in this family. How grandma's secret recipe has always been forgetfulness. Like she don't remember all them times grandpa became a magician. How he make a whole family from another woman's womb, but this family clean up nice. Care more about what others think than what the victims in this bloodline feel. How they quick to call Niecy a runaway. Never stop to think what she's running away from. How she would rather fold into herself than have uncle lay her out again. How nephew would rather hang himself in a closet than to come out of it. And ain't that the family tradition? Trauma. How we pass down this hurt like hand-me-down threads. How Sunday dinners ain't quite the same when you forced to break bread with your abuser. How we always call on the Lord, but forget to cast out those demons. In this family, we are a lineage of lost childhoods and stolen innocence. How we never talk about it even though we know it exists. How this family name alone holds a multitude of sins, but when guests arrive, when the doorbell rings, the lock undone and the outsiders come in, you could swear on your low down great-great-grandfather's grave that this family was perfect.
All right, my judges, we are ready for your scores. All right, we got 1 score, and we have 2 scores, and 3 scores. I should have held up 3 fingers, and 4 scores, and 5 scores. All right, here we go. From lowest to high, we have an 8.8, an 8.9, a 9.5, a 9.7, and a 10. All right, if you're celebrating and being cheerful, and if you're cheering, give it up for poetry. Give it up for Southern Fried. All right, scorekeeper, thank you so much. That gives our poet a score of 28.1. And now it's break time, right, bout manager?
Yes, indeed. We are going to take a quick 5-minute break. Judges, 5 minutes. Go ahead, stretch your legs, use the restroom, grab a bite to eat. Don't go too far.
How many people you bet finna try to make a grilled cheese sandwich with their iron?
Well, stop encouraging people. We still have 18 poems to score in this bout. So
okay, fine.
We want you to have a good break, but we do need to be back in 5.
Yes, yeah. Less than 5 minutes now. About 4 minutes, 30 seconds.
In the meantime, I just want to take a moment and shout out everybody who's been doing an incredible job. Our volunteer coordinators have been killing it all week. Special shout out to Lady S, Sarah Maddox, Yogi, and Sarah Timmons, who've been doing an incredible job, and others, and the rest of our team who's been involved, making sure that we get hosts, bout managers, judges, scorekeepers. With every single bout that we do, it takes about a team of about 6 to 7 people. And we've done 18 bouts this week, which I feel like is a record. I'm pretty sure that's never been done before on Zoom. I'm gonna be talking about that all night. But if you haven't already purchased your tickets for finals, go ahead and do that now. Remember, even if you are a registered team, you still have to go and register for finals and in order to get in and watch it. And so we want to see y'all there. We want to show some love. Yeah, no one got arrested this year.
Can we get the link to purchase tickets in the chat, or is that not possible?
I bet you could. It's at SoFried.com/Eventbrite. I believe, but I'll let my tech people tell me exactly what it is. Yeah, we appreciate y'all. Shouts out to the haiku death match that was up last night. That was fantastic. I was exhausted from facilitating and being a part of 3 bouts back to back, but I stayed up and I watched that haiku open mic, and it was fantastic. Really, really great. Shouts out to our winner. Shouts out to all the competitors. That was fire. That's been like one of my favorite side events. And shouts out to all the teams that have been killing it, man. I've been seeing a lot of really cool group poems. Really interesting stuff. We've had 3 international teams join us from Toronto,
Wow.
Canada, from Ghana, and from Abu Dhabi. It's been really amazing, and probably something that we wouldn't have been able to do if we were in person. So there are some upsides to it. And like I said, I mean, these poems have been great. It's been
Southern
really
Fried is the shit, man.
awesome, man. I've been
Don't you
trying.
know that by now?
I do. You know, I've been coming to this tournament for more than half my life. I've been coming.
Really?
I've been coming here since I was 15.
Woo!
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, 15. So more than half my life, I've been coming.
When
to
you were a little baby Cuban.
Yep. And you had a little fro.
Yes, I did. Many hairstyles over the years.
The little baby fro at the time. But yeah. I remember you battling up on final stage with 13 and Nazareth.
Well, I remember a Southern Fried story that involved Liz's hair and
let's not, Adam. Come on,
crinkled up straw wrappers.
Yeah, man, that was good. So I don't know where this was.
Story needs some reframing. Okay, first of all,
ceremonies.
This story needs to be reframed.
I think so too. I think it might have a problem.
But also implicate Cuban because Cuban was involved.
I wasn't involved. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky.
You lie.
Cuban, you were involved. I remember clearly, like it was yesterday. It was 10:29 p.m. We pulled into the parking lot at a gas station, and that's where it all started. It was clouds in the sky. It was forecast rain in the air, and I felt that the bullshit was coming. And that's when y'all started balling up little pieces of paper and throwing them into my afro in secret. And it continued all night long.
To be fair,
no. It was not a different time, Adam. It was like yesterday, son.
People were a part of this.
I was meaner back then, so I probably did something to.
Yeah, you were super mean. You just running up, punching people in the chest.
No, it happened. No, the reason you started doing it is because you're being very mean. That's what prompted it.
Yeah, we had to passively attack you
because we were scared of confronting you to your face.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. No reframing necessary. That was a good one. I
appreciate the reframing.
Yeah. I felt like the victim. My afro was the victim, at least an innocent victim. My afro did not deserve that.
So keeping us honest with our time, we've got about 30 seconds from our 5-minute commitment.
And you've been talking to me and I didn't even get a chance to make my sandwich.
You stayed on.
No, you wanted to bring up painful memories that I had to stay here to defend myself.
Liz, I might Postmate you.
Yeah, you read my mind, Cuban. Time to Postmate me some food.
I might. If Southern Fried is footing the bill, I might. We got a couple judges back. Welcome back. I appreciate it.
Okay, great. You on that bout manager to let me know when all my judges are back in place?
I got you.
I hope my poets didn't go anywhere.
They for sure didn't go anywhere.
They're smarter than that. Yes.
I could just feel it. Judges, y'all so wonderful. I appreciate y'all. I'm just gonna keep
Judges, y'all so wonderful. Let's go, Cuban. That could be a song.
You're so great. Thank you for doing this. I won't cuss because some of y'all are my aunt and mother-in-law. I love y'all. I appreciate this. We got Squad in here, holding it down.
You need singing lessons.
Thank you.
I know I do.
Okay.
Thank you, Ma. You've been wonderful. Appreciate you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Oh, I love you too.
All the love. I love that all of our judges came back chewing. That's really great. You're not gonna be worried about your belly. You're thinking.
You see Judge 2 stunting on you, Liz?
I saw that.
Grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm telling you, it's an art form.
Go for that, Julian. You go for that. All of our judges are back. Teams are about to go into our 7th poet of this round.
All right.
If you're good. Just give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you guys are ready for your next poet. Cool. I see judges. Julian, you give me thumbs up. Okay, you digital with it. Okay, thank you. All good. All right, host, it is back to you.
All right, let's keep it going in the middle of our first round of this slam. Next poet up is Ed Mabry. Ed, let me get a mic check when you're ready so I can know you're good to go.
Mic check, can you hear me okay?
Just fine, you're good to go.
Good afternoon, judges, and everyone watching here today live on the stream. We thank you for coming back from your break, and you all look so wonderful today. Now, we think we have a winner on our hands with this one. Now, for those that are new to this, a libretto is the reading of the text of an opera, including all stage direction. So without any further ado, we'd like to present to you today the libretto of the opera, Death of a Black Boy. Curtains open. Sun rises on Anywhere USA. Small kitchen with mother at stove, we never see her face. The black boy sits at table eating soft piano. The mother sings a song, how lucky am I to have a boy such as this. Violins giggle, cellos chuckle. The black boy sings a song, I'm gonna get us out of here one day. Enter father. Director's note, the part of father has been canceled. Replace father with empty notes from the woodwind section. Woodwind section plays the song Absence. Act 1, into mother's boyfriend. Director's note, the role boyfriend shall be titled Temporary, regardless of instrument backing. Boyfriend sings a song, Trick, where's my breakfast? Why you feeding him first? I'm gonna help you with all these bills. Ain't like he's my kid anyway. Director's note, option replace the song with Give Me Your Car Keys or Else. Boy leaves. Piano 1 and 2 begin walking music. Concrete replayed by strings. Percussion performs song Broken Glass Everywhere. Act 2, the black boy tries to make it to school alive. The black boy walks through his neighborhood. Few homeless men, few daytime hookers, few drug dealers. Drug dealers sing song I Got a Job for You. Blaring call horns by trumpets. Section 1, all instruments stop. Cue single snare drum. The black boy enters school. Lockers sing Insecurity. Walls perform Inferiority Complex. Teachers sing Underworked and Overpaid. The career counselor sings You Don't Live to See 20, so why discuss job opportunities? The principal sings I've touched a child in an inappropriate manner. The students sing It ain't about the pandemic. You really don't care about us all one bit, do you? Act 3, the black boy goes home. The next section will be simultaneous. Cue to Timpani to replace gunshots to his head by local police. Stage left, mother sings, my son making home today. Stage right, father sings, I'll do better tomorrow. Upstage, boyfriend sings, when did I stop caring? Homeless man sings, I have to live around here. Hooker sings, as they don't want to see my babies. Drug dealer sings, if you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. Apartment builder sing, don't make my brown eyes blue. Cue police officer, cue neighbor watch vigilante, cue stand your ground. Black boy sing, wallet in the ground, sun in the sky, bullet in my back. Cell phone in my hand, bullet in the face. Skills in my hand, iced tea in my blood. Should sweet in my hand, collars bound in the wind. And 100 police officers singing Bad Moon Rising. And the Fox News singing, pleased to meet you, hope you guess my name. Cue 1,000 bullets singing, dead men can't be witnesses. Keep snare, upright bass and full, off key piano, cymbals crash harder and stop. Violins and cellos hum of a million bees whispering. Single streetlights in the stage on Black Boy. Sopranos sing and the blood came a trembling down. Cue Michelle and Barack. Tenors sing too much, too little, too late. Light fades to black on Black Boy's moon sings. Change gonna come. The end. Director's note. If we bring this back and do it right, we can bring this opera back every week around the country and they won't even notice. Please tell the producers, we have found a hit that finally covers all this blood on our hands.
All right, judges. We need a score for the poet. We are ready for your scores. Judges, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and waiting on one more score from our judges. And we have 5 scores. From lowest to highest, we have a 9.0, a 9.4, a 9.5, a 10, and a 10. All right, scorekeeper, let's have some mathematics performed here. And that gives our poet a score of a 28.9. All right. Next poet up in the bout is Dove Dupree. Poet, where you at? Let's get a mic check.
Hello, can you hear me?
All right, we can hear you.
So whenever I feel, sorry, I can't stand spiders. Anybody else scared of spiders? Oh, y'all not scared. So if 8 spiders started walking towards you, you wouldn't be, whatever. It's crazy though. I killed one the other day. I got to thinking, how would I feel if I were feared just because of what I am? I know it's weird, but I started picturing me as a spider. Like, dang, always in survival mode. Got to be careful every step I take, avoiding those higher than me because sometimes they kill what they don't understand. And there's a misunderstanding every day. Like when I try to walk past people, they think I'm gonna attack them for no reason or something. These stomp your ground laws got y'all killing things like, I don't know, look pretty threatening. It's like y'all trying to kick us out after all we've done for this country. Environment. But I guess you could do that when you own everything. Huh? You call me aggressive, call me threat, call me dangerous, but 7 legs out of 8 when we bite, it is a bite back. We are retaliating over something that you started. You said we are all dangerous, but you haven't met all of us, and you can't believe everything you see on the web. Because I can't help this genetic makeup, this big body, the way I look. I was told the other day that I am naturally intimidating. And I don't mean to make this about color, but the black and the brown ones get the worst reputation. Black widow and brown recluse, us spiders get the worst reputation in America because misunderstood spins into most threatening and most dangerous. But you know what's crazy, America? It's like you hate the way we are built till you make money off our silk and our music and our athlete, silk. Sorry, this poem is about a black arachnophobia, but you see how our stories are caught tangled up together, like how the black and the brown ones, they get the worst rep. The web got America thinking you a threat. Some brought without their daddy long legs. How do we lose it? They make our women black widows and our Mike Browns reclusive. The cobwebs in our justice system show you there hasn't been a lot of progress lately because it's like every time we start to move, it's back to your shoes. Like, why you always aggressive? Why you have so many babies and leave them when they're young? Don't you do more than hang on the corner? In the corner, you poison your community anyways. We are doing the world a favor. But it's like we are waiting for America to say, wait. That's one of the good ones. No, we will always be the bad one if the only time we interact is when you are arresting or killing us. Y'all, true story. The other day, I was told that I am naturally intimidated. Now, do you know how it feels to be feared just because of what you are? That's the same phobia that squashed Ahmaud Arbery and any other spider you would like to name. So please, check the bottom of your fears, America. We don't need another misunderstanding.
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. And we have 1, and we have 2, and we have 3, and we have 4, and we have 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.4, an 8.6, an 8.7, a 9.5, and a 9.8. Thank you so much, judges. And scorekeeper, doing math. I'm so happy about that. All right, thank you so much, scorekeeper. That gives our poet a score of a 26.8. And we're gonna move right along through this first round. Our next poet up in the round. All right, our next poet up is Asia. Asia, let's get a mic check so we make sure that you are good to go.
Mic check.
All right, you're good to go.
The shower has been running for over an hour. When I find her, she's sitting cross-legged at the far end of the bathtub, and without looking up, she says, the blood has finally slowed down. These were the first words she's spoken since the hospital. I'm sure she's been waiting to speak until now, at least here, with the water streaming down her face. There's no way for me to tell if she's been crying. She says, remind me tomorrow to cancel the baby registry. What am I supposed to say? I'm supposed to be good with words, but right now there's a bright pink river snaking its way towards the drain, and I can't get my tongue to paddle us upstream back into her womb where we left our happiness yesterday. I read the story of a 12-year-old boy locked for 2 years in the bathroom, the light switch covered with duct tape to keep him from turning on the lights. When they found him, he was too weak to climb out of the bathtub on his own. Before that, I read the story of a 3-year-old child hung upside down and beaten with a frying pan, then left to die on the floor while his parents fucked on the air mattress next to him. Before that, I read the story of a 6-year-old girl who felt the only way to overcome the bullying was to hang herself with a jump rope. A jump rope. At what point did she feel so ignored? She felt the only way to be heard was to turn that jump rope into a cord, tie that cord around her voice, anchor it to the heavens, and play telephone with God. Sweet, sweet girl, if only my wife would have heard you. She would have answered that call. She would have shown you how to use that jump rope properly. So I don't tell her these stories of these children born into monsters and afraid to sleep in the dark, because it would only remind her there's a nightlight we bought for the nursery that will never be used. It's even one of those nightlights that light up the ceiling with tiny stars that night. We slept in each other's arms, our bodies entwined into a figure 8 of infinity, because that's how loud we dialed up the silence. And the only words of comfort I could muster was to tell her we'll just be the best aunt and uncle to everyone else's kids. Like this was some sort of consolation prize. Sometimes the math just doesn't add up. On one side is a child wanting nothing more than a safe place to sleep. On the other, our parents staring at a crib they will never get to assemble. My God, can you not see this? Can you not do something to close the distance? Or at least tell me what to say to my wife to lift her up when an empty womb feels so heavy? All she can do is collapse in the corner of our bathtub that Sunday. As I sat in church with my arms crossed, I glanced over to find her on her knees, her surrender telling me that sometimes the only way up is to hit the ground. The whispered prayers will reach heaven further than my screams. And for 2 years she did this, not once getting loud, stacked each prayer on top of the other until it was high enough to pierce the clouds. And finally he answered, his cross appearing in the window of that positive pregnancy test. And now I am bent over the same bathtub I found her years before, giving our 2-year-old son a bath. He splashes water on the floor, laughs when I get angry, and when we finish, when I tell him to put the bath toys away, he kisses each one just before he drops it into the basket. He knows how to love because he is loved. He knows how to love because he is loved. I pray every child could be as lucky.
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. We got 1, we got 2, we have 3, 4, and we have 5. All right, from lowest to highest, we have an 8.8, a 9.6, a 9.7, a 9.9, and a 10. All right, scorekeeper. And that gives our poet a score of a 29.2. Thank you so much, scorekeeper. And the next poet up in the bout is Afrodelic. All right, poet, when you're ready, let's get a mic check so that we know that you are good to go.
Hello?
All right, we can hear you. You're good to go.
I've written an ode to the wondrous world of white boy magic. So much fantasy. It might as well be fiction in the first place, but this magic be hidden in the plainest of sight. So, once upon a time, this ugly-looking ass, fluorescent marshmallow-looking ass, fetus made out of mucus-looking ass, Kanye West and whiteface-looking ass little boy at my school loved to call me nigger. His hard R like a magical pirate that somehow never dies. Little black beard, not black enough or beard enough, but his words still sinking deeper in my chest like a pirate ship turned submarine. He's almost 17, 400 years too late, I guess. for me to be offended, like the ghosts of pirate ships don't still haunt the mid-Atlantic, haunt the middle of the hallway of my white-ass school. So the faculty falls, Captain Hook, Line, and Sinker, and somehow he shape-shifted himself into the victim. And in an attempt to sail the 7 seas of severing a friendship with your token Blackie, this swashbuckling, bold, bigot boy cannot seem to grow up. So I should never land on the conclusion not to compare him to Peter Pan and a pirate at the same time. When he's got more magic than the two combined, it's clear that little white boy got some white boy magic on some Tinkerbell type tyranny too, because he can turn Harry Tubman into Harry Potter. Like his hair is not the only thing with a special power of not defying gravity, because he can suspend himself in the air way before he'll ever get suspended from my school, like making a prison sentence shrink in the blink of an eye, like becoming invisible. The corner store employees, or airport security, or, the police, like somehow apparating to a top university before affirmative action, despite his only skill being that with the wave of a wand, he can will history away. And I wonder why he even bothers to mix with muggles in the first place. Like, shouldn't you be in Narnia? Shouldn't you be at Hogwarts? Shouldn't you be slithering into Slytherin by now? Committing some Order of the Phoenix type crimes and whatnot, because, continuing on as we are, ain't no child like you gonna be the boy who lived much longer after all. What is white boy wizardry to a beating from a black girl?
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. And we have 1, and we have 2, and we have 3, and we have 4, and we have 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.0, an 8.2, an 8.5, an 8.5, and another 8.5. Scorekeeper. Refreshing. And that gives our poet a score of 25.2. And we are ready for our next poet in the bout. Next poet up is Drew Drake.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you so much for the mic check. You are good to go.
Hold on just a second. I don't quite. Oh, now I see you. All right, go ahead.
When people ask, why'd you become a teacher? I tell them, I've always loved gardening. I tell them I've never been afraid to roll up my sleeves and put my hands in the plow. I tell them my students are flowers. And it's my job to see them grow into whatever Mother Nature's called them to be. I tell them my classroom is a creation story. It's a botanical garden. On Monday, you start with a seed, but on Friday, watch out because it might be a rainforest. I tell them I don't know all the answers, but I think the best gardeners don't either. I think it's just a thing of intentionality. Some gardeners teach from a book, but others listen to how the soil breathes. Some gardeners think all students are a monolith, while the best gardeners relish the opportunity to meet each plant's individual needs. I tell them I do this because I grew up in spaces that were not invested in seeing me grow. I tell them I've been in schools that felt like food deserts, and classrooms that felt like wastelands, and teachers whose language was famine and racism being that native tongue which always happened to dance on the ears of Black and brown students the most. I tell them, do you know what it feels like to be a Black and brown student in a white education system? In this American portrait that whitewashes out the experiences of students of color, how ironic. We find all these seeds falling in between the cracks, free falling in America's pocket. Is that nothing but a pipeline? A trash can disposal, vacuuming out all the seeds the education system don't want and handing them over to the prison industrial complex, or worse, the police. I tell them I started replaying IEP's individual education plans with TLC because 1, you shouldn't have to beg, period. And 2, it shouldn't be a chore to give each plant what they need to succeed. But yet, here we are, out here marching in front of these streets. Here we are, enraged in front of these buildings. Here we are, mad that some seeds are still falling between the cracks of the DOE. I got a student named Jasmine, who's been out of school way before online learning was a thing. She's been out of school way before COVID-19 was a thing. She's been out of school for 3 years, and that's 3 years far too long in my book. And this poem ain't even a poem no more. It's a cry for justice, a demand that we see Jazz Maya and so many students like her as a garden, that we honor the seed that's in her heart, the rainforest in her palms, the river in her blood, because it's my responsibility as the teacher, right? Yes, and it's our responsibility as community members, right? Yes, and it's our responsibility to hold the Department of Education accountable and make sure that these plants have every single thing that they need to finally grow. Thank you.
Okay, judges, we are ready for your scores at this time. And we have 1, and we have 2, and we have 3, and we have 4 and 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.8, an 8.9, a 9.2, a 9.3, and a 10. Scorekeeper. Scorekeeper. And that gives our poet a 27.4. Small sip of water before the last poet of the first round. Next poet up is Sean Judah.
Hello.
Thank you so much for the mic check. We can hear you and you are good to go.
Hello. If I had to guess, sports seem more essential than education. Student athletes disappear like tourists in Foreign Yard, reappearing as privileged athlete students walking halls at will with get out of learning cards thrown out as trump, graded on curves and humps, tutored on pass routes and curveballs, treated as if they deserve all amenities, billing these students as marquee marvels, lured into the web, wooed by the prospect of being a top prospect lottery draft pick, just to make some shoddy school system look better. Letterman jacket sleeves filled with more accolades than veterans' Class A jackets. Fair weather fathers living out dreams through below academic average and above average athleticism. All the while, teachers receive criticism, pressured by booster clubs and board members to put their stars in special pockets, pockets full of space, because a teacher's wage will not make the grade or get a raise to match the salary of players of these games played. You see, this sickness spread swifter than the swine flu. How grotesque a gesture that these local sports stars who scrape the bottom of the barrel in intellect, yet receive more respect than those that set their hearts to educate. See, I have seen more students passed on than passing students on the gridiron, ball court, or diamond. Teachers are forced to pass over personal principles and pacify principals by excusing unexcused absences from classes, slipping assessment answers to those unable to attain them for learning disorders that they had to learn to fake over the years. Educators bullied by board members to take a blind eye, wiping away tough tears with pre-existing pink slip tissue paper, scrupulously placing less mess on a pre-pro pupil as teachers stress to calm the nerves of careworn scholars who just don't get it. You see, observing the injustice of inequality because of the absence of an athletic ability, everybody loses, but teachers take the rap. Graduation caps receive less attention than salary caps, misfortunate mishaps. While the educational gap has a widening disparity, more people show up for homecoming than those who attend graduation commencements. A tragedy, a mockery. Privileged competitors are taught how to read coverages and schemes, can calculate passing lanes, but can't pass pre-algebra. You see, children already know how to play, but they don't know how to study, and we pay for them to attend institutions of higher learnings where they learn how to play games. High school, high score records receive rewards, but these same baby better than thems can't exceed graduation exam standards. What is high? What is higher? What are we teaching children when cities build domes to secure sports teams, but shut down local schools to save money for the current budget crisis? You see people with degrees working side by side with people with GEDs at Mickey D's for the same fee. Education is free and you get what you pay for. Teachers shouldn't make more than a difference, because they do. So let's assess our aspirations to the few, to the proud, to the ones that make our babies better. I suggest that we take an educated guess and then guess again. Thank you.
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. And we have 1, and we have 2, and we have 3, and we have 4. And we have 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.3, an 8 8.7, an 8.8, an 8.9, and a 10. Scorekeeper. I'm waiting on you, scorekeeper. I'm gonna do a whole album. All right, that gives us a 26.4 for the poet. We have officially reached the end of our first round. Congratulate yourselves. You're still here. You're still having a good time. And
give it up for our host one time too. And Liz, I'm gonna go ahead
I
and
was just gonna say, give it up for me, and
I'm
you stole my moment.
I'm gonna completely relieve you. Go ahead and take a break, Liz. Get yourself a bite to eat. We're gonna tabulate our scores, and we are going to make sure we know who is going into our second round and who is gonna be saying goodbye. But I want to thank my judges again because I love y'all so much. Oh my gosh, I'm forever in your debt. I hope you're having a good time, judges. I hope you're having a great time. Is that a puppy, Ant? You got a puppy? That's what I'm talking about. We got puppies on the camera. We got all kinds of cuteness on the camera. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much, judges. Go ahead, judges. Feel like taking a break? Give us a moment for the break. Poets, we're going to get you that order in just a minute. We're going to do some tabulations. My scorekeeper, if you can get me our order from highest to lowest so that we know what 8 poets are going to be going into our second round.
And how long is the break?
We're gonna get started in 2-3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You got sandwich time and all that, Ma.
Okay. Yeah. And so correction from a statement earlier about where you can get tickets.
Thank you.
So you can get tickets through our website. Make sure that you go to our website, SouthernFriedPoetrySlam.com. It is on, let's see here. Private link that the tickets are not on Eventbrite, but homepage. Oh, yeah. So just go to our homepage. If you are a member, sign in as a member. If you are competing at this tournament, you are already a member. So if you want to tune into finals, that is the place to go.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I'm going to also be back in 60 seconds, Cuban, but thank you for, sharing your story. Share your story.
No problem. I don't even remember what I was talking about, but I appreciate you greatly. These are all good things. I am getting my order for the poets in the next round, and it's coming straight from my tournament director, Eddie, so I appreciate it greatly. And we are going from lowest to highest. Is that correct, Eddie? Are you giving me that in that order? I don't know if you're giving me that in that order, Eddie.
I gave you the order from high to low, which is the order of the second round.
Sorry, my bad. So from high to low. It looks like you gave it to me from low to high. I just want to.
You are correct.
Okay. Yes. Eddie. All right. So the order for our second round, y'all, is going to be from high to low. It'll be in this order. We have Asia, Ed Mabry, Ayana, Nelly, Drew Drake, Sherry, Quinology, and Dove Dupree. Y'all, can we make some noise for all of the poets who did not make it to the second round? Absolutely awesome job from all our poets. We appreciate y'all greatly. Y'all are phenomenal artists and completely blew the doors off that first round. I appreciate y'all so greatly. I want to make sure my judges are good. Y'all, everybody doing okay? You doing good, Auntie? Thumbs up. You all right? All right. I'm gonna send you some crabs, Lourdes. I got you. I'm gonna send you some good stuff. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you. Oh my God, my judges, y'all are incredible. Millie, thank you so much, Millie. I appreciate you. I might buy a whole new cell phone just cause of you, Millie. I don't even know. Julia, you already know what's good. Julia, you a real one, Julia. I appreciate you, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Just all beautiful people. And And you look so official. You got is that the records in the background right there? You got records stacked up like that. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Beautiful, beautiful. Awesome so much. Yeah, thank you so much, poets. Y'all were incredible. All our poets from the first round, absolutely phenomenal. Really appreciate y'all. Really great job, everybody. I have all my judges back. Host, do you have the order that you need?
I have the order that I need from high to low. I have Asia, Ed Mabry, Ayana, Nellie Bass, Drew Drake, Sherry Purpose Hall, Chronology, and Dove Dupree.
You are on point. I want to make sure that our bout man, who's me, is here, and our scorekeeper, timekeeper, and everybody is present. Cool, cool, cool. Everybody good, everybody good. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, I just need to make sure that my scorekeeper and timekeeper are present, and we can get this second round popping.
We can get that second round popping. We can get that second round popping.
Okay.
That's gonna be my third single from this album that I'm making.
Let me get a verse on that. That's hard.
Second round popping, big things dropping, poetry coming on a Saturday whopping. Do the wop, do the hip, do the scum. I don't know, man. I'm lost. Stop trying to make me create in the moment.
I've never meant this more, but please continue with the round.
Manager, can we mute the host? All right.
I'm having a good time. I'm having
a good time too, Liz. I appreciate you. I'm gonna pass it back to your incredible host, Liz Straight. 3-time Southern Fried champion. It's not easy to do.
Yeah, not with them rhymes. Some other rhymes.
All right, let's
some
get
other ones.
Going. Liz, it is in your hands.
All right, let's get ready to kick off this second round of the afternoon in our Indie Poetry Slam Finals of the 2021 Southern Fried Regional Poetry Slam event. All right. The first poet up in our second round is Asia. Asia, let's get a mic check when you're ready so that we know you are good to go.
Mic check.
All right, mic check is good. You're good to go.
Every year, there are 130 million babies and 150 billion stars born in the entire known universe. In a span of 9 years, my wife and I had 3 known miscarriages. All that to say, we spent a lot of time floating in the empty void of space, wondering why the numbers never stacked in our favor. When we finally caught the comet, the geneticists saw the 100 tiny birthmarks that freckled my son's entire body and told us this was a symptom of neurofibromatosis, a rare genetic condition that can cause benign tumors to grow in the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. At its worst, so many tumors can grow, it can sag his skin and make his face look like it's melting, and I'm wondering, how will I handle the tumors if they come? If I can't even stand to look at the birthmarks that are already there, fast forward 4 years. It's his first day of school and he's throwing a tantrum because I'm making him wear a hoodie in this 90-degree weather, but I can't tell him I'm trying to hide the spots. It's just I know too well people's tendency to be cruel, how they like to chop down trees just to make more handles to mount their axe, and I won't let him get whittled down by sharp tongues like that, watching them take from him and turn him into something that he's not until he slowly becomes the weapon that's turning on himself. I know too well that kind of self-hate, and right now I'm just doing my best to control the fate of what's meant to become of my son. So please just put this hoodie on because you can't yet see your birthmarks for what they truly are. But just then, while standing there naked, he held up his arms and said, "Daddy, they look like stars." Then pointing to the biggest one on his ribs, he said, "Daddy, this one looks like a spaceship. So forgive me for failing to compose myself when he started making up stories of the spaceship flying through the galaxy that is its body. Have I forgotten how much energy it takes to create a planet? Have I forgotten about the black hole that can suck the life out of an empty womb? Have I forgotten about the empty space that was left behind after the first time I dismantled the unused crib in our bedroom? How dare me think I know more about this universe than you do? How dare me forget all the stars that fizzled out before you came shining through? You were born. You are here, riddled with spots as proof you exist. It's why they call them birthmarks to begin with. So how lucky are we that you have more than most, miracle boy? I know one day you might want to eclipse yourself into that hoodie to hide behind the moon as they stare and point. Well, let them stare and point, the same way they stare and point at stars in wonder and awe. Remind them they're merely specks of dust in the vastness of your presence. And when the bullies come with a meteor shower of insults aiming to hit you at your core, swing your Milky Way arms to the bridge of their nose so they will always know that you are the big bang your mother and I have been waiting for. You walking constellation, you light speed traveler, you rocket of hope. I've gone on with this metaphor for too long, I know, but every year there are roughly 130 million babies and 150 billion stars born in the entire known universe. All that to say, no matter how worse your condition becomes, we will always love you until infinity. You are our son, our 1 in 150 billion.
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. Judges, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5. From lowest to highest, we have a 9.0, a 9.2, a 9.5, a 9.6, and a 10. Scorekeeper. Scorekeeper. We have a 28.3 for the poet. Thank you, judges. Thank you, scorekeeper. Moving on to the next poet in the round. Next poet up is Ed Mabry. Ed, when you can and when you're able, let's get a mic check to make sure you are good.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're good to go.
Thank you so much. Speak and spell. And the cow goes moo, and the sheep goes baa, and your bed goes, I'm the best friend you're ever gonna have, so why even ever leave me? And the pillow goes, I kiss you like a lover never will, so why ever rest your head from me? Your door goes, don't put your hand on me unless you actually plan on going somewhere this time. The shower goes, you haven't seen me in over a week. The sheets go, can't you get tired of this smell, my God? Are you simply trying to drown yourself in yourself? Your window goes, do me the courtesy of opening me up before you try to shotgun yourself out of me. Just because you're broken doesn't mean I need to be. The concrete goes, I'm waiting for you, baby. You've been needing to fuck me for a long time. The pills go, don't listen to the doctor who says they know what's best for you. Maybe you could take a couple more. The alcohol bottle goes, I knew your father once. Maybe it's time we introduce ourselves to each other. Your mother goes, take it to Jesus. Jesus goes, I'm sorry, but the phone number that you dialed has been. Your grandmama goes, nothing, because she died from the same situation. Your grandfather goes, nothing, because he died from the same situation. The poets go, well, hey, don't do a poem about it because no one will give a fuck. Your friends go, elsewhere, anywhere you are not. And you look at yourself in the mirror goes, what the fuck are you looking at? And tells you ain't shit. And you actually start to believe it. And then you realize maybe you should just tell everybody you're sad. Because you've been trained that if you're black and a man, you can't have depression. Nah, nigga, you can have bad days. You can not feel right. You can be feeling some sort of way in your emotions. You can not want to talk to somebody, but you can't say things like therapy, but you can talk to Jesus. Or you can write about it, but don't share it. Your ex-girlfriend goes, I always knew there was something about you. All the gaslighters go, I told you this about yourself. Your belt in the closet goes, I look kind of cool around your waist, but so much better around your neck. Could I possibly interest you in a Robin Williams life protection program? Bernie Mac goes, I didn't raise you to be this way. Your lover goes, if you keep this shit up, maybe I'll have to. And you try, but you keep falling in love with vanilla and khaki and anything else that is bland and smooth and safe. The look and taste of your own name in your mouth becomes bitter. And you start to dial numbers and hang up on therapy, on love, on hope. You give up on self. Maybe you should be this fat. It's the only thing keeping you weighted on this ground. Maybe you'll splatter and Jackson Pollock yourself all over a beautiful Los Angeles parking lot because that seems to all the bees matter these days. But I swear to God, y'all, I'm trying to accept the fact that some days it's okay to not be okay. And I'm still working on letting that word come out my fucking mouth high. This is a confession, not a poem. My name is Ed Mabry, and I get sad sometimes. Maybe it's depressed, but I'm trying.
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. And we've got 1, and we've got 2, we've got 3, 4, and 5. From lowest to highest, we have a 9.2, a 9.8, a 9.8, a 9.9, and another 9.9. Scorekeeper. 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 And that gives our poet a what? Again, scorekeeper? Just waiting a tiny bit of clarification. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, scorekeeper. That gives our poet a 29.5. All right, third poet up in round 2 is Ayana.
Mic check.
All right, Ayana, you are good to go.
Oh, one day when the glory comes, it'll be ours. It'll be ours. Oh, one day when the glory comes, it'll be ours. Yes, it'll be ours. For Black people, morning still comes even when the sun ain't rise. Even when the sun decides it ain't gonna show up today, guess it's tired of acting like everything's okay too. You see, we been mourning people, never looking forward to it, but knowing it's coming, cause that's how it's always been, like clockwork. Been our people, been time and time again, been sequel. America been binge watching Black boys' bodies being broadcasted as breaking news, as if it ever stopped being news at all for us. Mourning can happen multiple times within the same day. Not from the sun, but from our sons, fathers, brothers, daughters. We've even become mourners for Black people we don't even know. Just know they didn't deserve to go from human to hashtag. I mean, it's kind of hard not to be, especially when the fear of your loved one not coming home keeps you up all night. When you don't know sleep, so you got to stay woke, cause hope don't have enough power to heal broken skin, hearts or homes after bullets pierced in mothers, standing on the front line of this war, being both shield and sword, both sacrifice and surrender, however it takes for her son to see more sunrises for us. The best part of waking up isn't Folgers. Instead, it is knowing that our mocha, latte, and espresso skin survived another day in a world that is constantly trying to mug us. We wish this country loved us coffee colored people much as they love drinking it. Don't like nothing pure Black, so they put a little creamer in it. Say we bitter, say if we don't like it to go back, as if we backstroke over here in the first place. Say we ingrate, say we always cry about something. I say must be nice to have nothing to cry for. Cause for us, morning always comes. But don't we stay finding ways to turn lemons into lemonade? Make chitlin and oxtail out of master scraps, creating bonnets from your forced English language, turn funerals into homegoing celebrations, a declaration that not even death can steal our joy. We cannot be destroyed, so bring on the morning. We got a whole lot of fight left, and yes, we tired, but we still here, still Black, still proud, still ready to burn it all down if need be. But in the meantime, the next time it is a heavy morning, the next time you see us in mourning, you best pray that all we want is justice and not revenge.
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. Okay, and we have 1 score, and we have 2 scores, and we have 3 and 4 scores. And we have 5 scores. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.8, another 8.8, a 9.8, a 10, and a 10. Scorekeeper. That gives our poet a 28.6. Thank you, judges. Thank you, scorekeeper. Moving on to the next poet in round 2. Next poet is Nellie Bass.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you for the mic check. You're good to go.
Can you actually say something one more time? I had a little bit of an echo.
When my friend stumbles across a pregnancy test on the car ride home, she will not ask if it is mine. She will assume it is for someone else, like the pharmacist apologizing for accidentally calling me sir. It's funny how people will dismiss possibility on appearance alone when Dykes cried rape. That is eyewitness enough. Masculinity, the perfect alibi to prove he wasn't where my rape kit said he was. And the world says they don't understand why a straight man would want to touch anything that looked like a boy. As if choice of clothing has ever been permission for the grieving. As if sexual assault only likes a particular kind of woman and I can't be its type. And the thought of morning sickness gave me no room to process the I just can't say. I question when I come if it's something I willingly gave or something stolen. When I can't from my girlfriend, I wonder if my body knows how to give. If it isn't being forced first. When my body goes quiet, because it still hasn't forgiven me for letting this happen, cannot bring itself to make a sound like my mother's mouth the first time she found out. The first time my hands belonged to me again. I touched her like hindsight, tried to remember what my own body sounded like, questioned if she comes, whose fault is it? Is it if her body responds? I know response has a mind of its own. The therapist says coming during a sexual assault is quite common. And I think about the last time we were competing to apologize for the flashback, said the wrong name out during sex, and I wish it was someone I cheated with. Someone she could hate me for. My trauma, a pile of receipts she's had to pay out when I have nothing left to give. And the therapist reiterates, healing is never a one-time thing. And I say victim and survivor are broken, spelled the same way. Tell me what is healing. But the world's forcing you to believe you cannot be sad anymore. The first time I came since I'm really trying to get saved. She'll confuse my body trying to drown itself to death as an orgasm, mistaking an open wound as a vagina, pry me open like a court case we've both been avoiding, her lips trying to suck the poison out and suffocate the memory to swallow my guilt, and both of us soaking in the truth. Reminding me that I am still unwell despite how healthy I look, that damage comes in multiple outfits when you think you've outgrown it. And tell me, how much time do I need to heal to get my future back? Of all these parts that have yet to call themselves survivors, begging to be fixed back into a person. But I've been a person before and after the assault. But sex will make my body a reminder that every time I undress myself, they will always see the rape first. Thank you.
Judges, we are ready for your scores. And we have 1, and we have 2, and we have 3. And we have 2 more judges that we're patiently waiting on. And we have 4 and 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.0. We have an 8.6. We have a 9.1, a 9.5, and a 10. Scorekeeper. That gives our poet a 27.2. All right, moving on to the next poet in the bout. Round 2. Next poet is Drew Drake. Let's get a mic check, poet, when you're ready.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You are good to go.
When Granny passed, there was no one left to sprinkle love into our Sunday dinners. We sat around living room table, stuffing our faces with memories of how she was able to slide all the seasoning to the mac and cheese and collard greens. We wondered who gonna bring the cornbread now. Wondered whose turn was it to take shots at dark walls like darts and try to make grandma's sweet potato pie again. The fried chicken, it lost its crunch in the end. And we kept finding eggshells in our version of your classic potato salad. It left our palates simmering on the question of what happened to the soul food. Because we can't make it the way grandma used to. You told me, baby, now make sure you file that recipe. So now I cook with cookbooks of our past conversations, because you told me that love and pain are sometimes too hard to write down. I didn't realize till now that you use your life experiences as your cooking instruments. When you told me how to make mac and cheese, you said, now first, baby, come on now, get you a deep baking dish, a dish that would stay in high temperatures and come out that fire dancing. And Drew, I know you, so don't mess with that plastic. And when I think of you, you're nothing mere of a classic. A woman with a wide capacity of wisdom and understanding. And yeah, you've been burned a couple times, but you never wore those scars on your sleeves with a mask to see. You told me next ingredient you need elbow macaroni. So I ran and bought a couple of boxes. But that pasta remind me of the times when grandpops used your face as his boxing bag. Yo, it's sad how a pair of fists could constantly shatter the rain house of beauty God placed inside when he created you. You had rain gutters clogged from macaroni-shaped tears that dried on their own behind closed doors when the sun went down, it appears. And just like mac and cheese, you said, well, don't worry about your granddaddy. You know, we all got our layers. So don't forget the butter. So you made it cool to be Southern. And us Southern folks know that butter is like God's miracle elixir to keep everything flowing together. When I started dating, you told me, don't get seduced by them Northern girl love potion called olive oil. And I get you a Southern belle who know butter is better. A girl who gonna cook and give you something to hold on to during that winter. And wintertime was known for grandma's snow cream, right for those good old Sunday dinners. You had me comfortable with sweet tooths like warm soup. On life's cold days, prefer Big Mama over Campbell's soup to soothe. You often wanted Granny. Now, how you a deaconess in the church and you know voodoo? I mean, how you had us entranced by how you dance on this kitchen floor to a jazz band of ingredients and this family of musicians. You were the heartbeat, the drummer. It kept everything consistent. But when you were missing, this family band, we fell apart. We couldn't figure out what song we were playing. And we always wanted to be one band with one sound, but all I hear now is, baby, go back to the recipe. And it's funny, the last ingredient list is the cheese, because it starts in the heart, and you were the block that bleeds over everything. You brought consistency. You taught the other ingredients how to love, how to pray, how to breathe, how to stand. Come on, baby, just stand. As life gives you a blow to the face, and just find your way to keep on dancing. I will always remember your last answer. You're gonna know your work done when you see that melted golden cheese. So I become a master of cooking soul food, as y'all can see. I'm constantly cooking all of Granny's favorite recipes, but it ain't about the food no more. See, I cook and I pray and I breathe just for one last second with all your famous memories. Thank you.
Judges, we are ready for your scores. And I have 1, and I have 2, and I have 3, and I have 4, and I have 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.5, an 8.7, a 9.0, a 9.3, and a 9.7. Scorekeeper. That gives our poet a score of 27 even. Thank you so much, judges. Thank you so much, scorekeeper. And we are moving on to the next poet in round 2. Next poet up is Sherry Purpose Hall. Poet, where you at? Let me get a mic check when you're ready.
Hello?
Hello. We can hear you and you're good to go.
I can't see you though.
Let me see. Okay. You see me now?
Yeah, that's better. Can you say something again?
Hello?
All right, you sound good.
If you've never loved an emotionally unavailable person, I mean, have you even loved? You old normal, non-abusive love. People ain't got my love. My love is Sunday morning. I'm not tired yet. Lifted hands of praise with hellfire and brimstone in return. Timex, timeless, keeps a licking and keeps on ticking. My love is kiss me and I'll kiss you back. Smack me and I'll take you back. Abandon me and I'll still be here. Ever present, like God. Exhausting because I am not God, but this emotionally unavailable person wants me to be all things everywhere all at once, wants me to stretch and stretch to see how far I can stretch without breaking, asks me to reach and reach, never reaping the reward of being in touch. Do you even love if you only ever love people who never hurt you? Vow to never hurt you again and actually keep promises. Do you even love if your self-worth hasn't been crumbled and you struggling trying to put it back together without trauma bonding? Do you even love if you don't know whether you're holding on to your self-image or broken promises? If you're not able to cut a stake with your serrated heart, your hardened heart that's broken enough to become the tool of change in another, your heart is metamorphic and after being mined becomes the marble floor they walk all over, and they just want you to clear the slate like automatically, like ain't nothing happened, like you ain't been pressed under fire, like you ain't had to jump through hoops of fire. My love language is daredevil, obstacle course, jungle, survival of the fittest, but I ain't fit enough for this. I told myself never again, but I'm still here. Said that I was leaving after the last time my heart was bombed, raided, but my love is roaches getting stomped out and still getting impregnated. My love is roaches scattering at the light, retreating to the darkness. My love is roaches flamed, ashed up and disintegrated, leaving my lover high and me depleted. My love is started from the bottom and now it's still a bottom. But here you all in love with love, loving love, lovers are, and here I am questioning me and myself and me in it, and maybe y'all don't know how to love, or maybe I don't know how to love. Maybe we aren't so different. Maybe we're very different, you know, because I know what my love is, and y'all fully know what real love isn't.
All right, my judges, we are ready for your scores at this time. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, and we have 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.0, an 8.4, an 8.7, an 8.9, and another 8.9. Scorekeeper. Scorekeeper, where you at? Thank you. That gives our poet a score of 26 even. And we are moving on to the next poet in this round, round 2. Next poet is Quinology. And poet, when you are ready, let's get a mic check to make sure everything's good to go.
Okay, mic check, mic check.
Thank you so much.
Can you say something again? You're a little low.
Oh, can you hear me now?
All right, you sound good.
Okay. Hi. At the beginning of quarantine, I've gotten every text from every ex. A like, a swipe, and even a DM, emojis under pictures like flame, eggplant, tongue, the little cat, yeah, all of them. FaceTime calls, AM or PM, it's always demon time when we can't seem to go outside. Selfies from in between the legs, fond memories of sitting on furniture. And just when I would feel a little warmth between my thighs, the Holy Spirit snaps me right into my right mind and reminds me that these niggas just want pussy. Convenient pussy. Just call a Uber over here. My girlfriend don't do it like you. I know we haven't talked in 3 months, but let's smoke and chill. Let's quarantine together. I want to hear your poetry in person. We'll both wear our masks. I'll be 6 feet away. If I hit it from the back, I want you to have my kids. I'll just put it in once. Truth is, I've always liked you. We'll wash our hands. Man, fuck the pandemic. I'm different than these other guys, though. I'm a feminist. Did you get your stimulus check? I miss you, pussy. My pussy knows that they never mean what they say, but will say anything for the pussy. COVID, coochie, or pandemic pussy is not something that I will give away. My vagina is not a vaccination, more like an actual cure, not a temporary relief or momentary moan. My clit is the shit. This body be demanding rounds of applause and accurate affection, not a little text, a little dick, or inaccurate attention. My body is a temple, so get on your knees and prepare to worship it and nourish it with some praise and respect, not emojis and late night texts. I mean, most importantly, when the world is a disarray, why are you thinking about pussy? I ain't thinking about reproductions when I need my reparations. Ain't no penis that's gonna make me feel better about my pessimism. But maybe this act of desperate foreplay is you recognizing how real this thing is. Death seems so real, yet no one knows where it comes from, how to stop it. They say wear masks, but only hoods seem to make our people more of a target or a corner store or a traffic stop or any cop. This is a scary time for all of us. And just because society is starting to open up doesn't mean that my legs will. I mean, if the world were to end, I would like some head still. However, I can't right now. So to all my niggas, and I mean this gender neutrally, if you just trying to lay me down and not build me up, leave me alone, shut up, God bless. And I will continue to ignore all of your texts. Thank you.
My judges, ready for your scores, ready for your scores, ready for your scores, ready for your scores. And we have 1, and we have 2, and we have 3, and we have 3 still. And we have 4 scores, waiting on 1 more. And we have 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.7, an 8.9, a 9.1, a 9.5, and a 9.9. Scorekeeper! It's time. That gives our poet a score of 27.5. Now, we have reached the last poet in round 2 of our indie finals. Next poet is Dove Dupree. Poet, can I get a mic check when you can?
Mic check.
Thank you so much. You are good to go.
They say when life gives you lemons, you're supposed to somehow make lemonade. But I feel like whoever made that up was not being simply honest. They're from a different country time. Had to have one of them just add water kind of lives, you know, where like everything was already done for you. Like you never had to make a glass of triumph or overcome from scratch in your entire life because something just don't taste right about you. What are your ingredients? You know, like testimony, like journey, like how'd you make a fortune out of your misfortune? Because of course, everybody saw you on the mountaintop, but nobody saw you climbing it. You know, y'all talk all that Tropicana, but y'all never want to talk recipes. So now I got a bitter taste in my mouth because life never silver spoon fed me the answers. Didn't even leave me a measuring cup to see just how much more I can take. No, life hands you lemons, turns its back on you, expects a lemonade stand by tomorrow, and wonder why your face be so sour. That's probably because life expects for you to pour a gallon of good father out of yourself when your real one didn't give 2 teaspoons about you. Life expects a couple millionaire mindset where you've been taught to say broke mentality your whole life. Life be like, why don't you be a teacher when your role models were all dropouts? Life will John Hancock your eviction notice, strike you paraplegic and dare you to chase your dreams boldly, be the bearer of bad news, borrow a cup of sugar from your joy and never give it back. Your life will wake you up in a Snapple and eliminate any dreams that you got. So I don't know how I'm supposed to make lemonade out of lemons. I can only suggest 1 gram of faith, 2 pints of everything I had to overcome just to get Here, a tub of I wish you would tell me what I can't do. 1 pinch of perseverance without the preservatives. 2 tablespoons of here goes nothing. 3 cups of don't call it a comeback. A sprinkle of I'm about to turn this water to wine, and a dash of don't believe me, just watch. Stirred that thing up with a full glass of optimism. Took a sip of myself. I realized, wait, life never gave me lemons. Oh no, life gave lemons me. Isn't it more rewarding when your ingredients are real, y'all? There's nothing artificial in my soul. My story is organic, ain't nothing splendor about me. Took a long time to get this batch just right, and I was worth every rotation, because you can't buy my battle scars. My journey can't be mixed in 60 seconds. I'm so much more than what a minute made. No, when life gives you lemons, you tell them to bring the whole orchard. Because the sweetest thing about obstacles, y'all, the sweetest thing, squeezing every lemon into a glass of miracle. I leave the world wondering how you did it.
All right, my judges, we are ready for your scores. And we've got 1. We've got 2. And we have 3, 4, and 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.4, an 8.9, another 8.9, a 9.0, and a 9.8. Thank you, judges. Scorekeeper. That gives our poet a score of 26.8. And we have officially reached the end of round 2 of our Southern Fried Indie Finals. Bout Manager, where you at?
Hey, y'all give it up for your host one more time, Liz Straight, doing the dang thing. Liz,
That's what older people do. Whoop, whoop. That's the category I'm in now. Over 40.
Yeah, well, basically. Listen, y'all, we are going into our final round, and check this out. You're only going to judge 4 more poets. That's it. 4. That's it.
Exciting.
We are done. Does any of our judges need to take a break right now? Just throw up your hand if you need a 5-minute break or so. Yeah, go ahead. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Give y'all a moment. You need a break, Judge 5? Yeah? It's okay. Take a break. We're going to take a 5-minute break for our judges.
Okay, you heard me?
No, I didn't hear you. You need a quick break?
Yeah, bathroom break.
Okay, no problem. Quick break. 5 minutes. We got you.
Thank you, Bout Manager. You're a great Bout Manager.
Hey, I'm just a guy out here kicking it in the streets of my apartment.
Great. That's awesome.
How are you doing?
Thank you so much.
Host Liz Straight. Are you good?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm wonderful. I had French toast in my breakfast meal this morning, and it had blueberries and like graham crackers and cream cheese and syrup on it. It was so good.
Fancy.
It wasn't really in my meal plan that has been so successful for me lately. However, it was delicious, and I wanted that shit, and I ate that shit, and it was good.
Man, whatever is your meal plan, I need to get on that.
I'm gonna hit you up, son.
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna hit you up.
It's all about the
that
dieting.
Knowledge, with that info on the low.
All about the dieting. I need it. I'm not good at dieting.
No, I did a whole, what you call it again? Quarantine weight gain thing. It wasn't fun. It was barely cute. It was still cute, but barely.
It was hanging on.
Yeah. It was almost not good. So once I got to that point, that threshold of almost not cute, there needed to be a change.
Yeah.
So I've done really well for myself.
I got there. I was like, man, I'm almost not cute. And then I was like, let's just see what happens. And then I got all the way not cute. And then I was like, we got to do something about this. And then like 5 years passed.
You got to take action, Cuban. You have to take action.
And quarantine came, actually started working out. Actually, it's been the reverse for me. Like quarantine came, I was like, word, I can work out because I can just go to sleep afterwards. And
wow. No, for me, it was definitely the more food, the better. The more delicious food, the better.
Kidding.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
See, I hear you just gotta get your what's the name system right. You know, your digestive
Yeah,
system.
what's the name system?
You gotta get that what's the name system popping. I'm telling you. If you don't get that right, you're a mess. All right.
I agree. Yeah.
We have our 4 for our final round.
We do have our 4. Did you get the information, or am I the only one privy to it?
I got it. And
okay. I'm just glad you're in the loop.
Here I'm in the loop.
Wonderful.
You know, I'm feeling good. This is wonderful. Judges, I know I'm gassing up these judges a lot, y'all. And y'all are probably like,
they're amazing.
They're so great. I mean, the way y'all are judging is wonderful. You're killing it. I think you're the best judges.
Your judging is wonderful. You're the best judges in the world. In the world. How you like that? That's gonna be my 4th single.
Ooh, this album's gonna be
So when you ask how we like that, is that a rhetorical
I moved
question?
on real quick. I didn't really want to hear how you liked it. That's why I moved on really quickly.
This album is gonna be dookie. I'm here for it.
All right. Do you want me to go ahead and take back over, or Bout Manager? Are you gonna make the announcement or what?
I will make the announcement, and I will let you back over. I'm just letting our judges get back up in here. And
I see. Okay, there's a strategy to this. I got it.
Just chatting it up with the homies. But man, I appreciate y'all judges. Judges, I hope you've been enjoying this. I hope this has been entertaining and insightful.
Yes, we got a head nod from Judge 3. That's good.
Yeah, y'all have been super consistent. I love y'all. Love what you love, and you just going with what you're going. Just great. I'm biased, but I feel like y'all of the evening festival. So I really appreciate y'all coming through and just killing it, man. This has been absolutely wonderful. So if we're ready to get started, I see all my judges. Just give me a thumbs up if we're all ready to get started. I think I got my timekeeper. I think I got my scorekeeper here as well.
That was a very nice thumbs up, Judge number 1. I saw it. I was scrolling through the screens and I saw it.
Let me see it again. Tell me one more time, Millie. Hey, look at it wiggles. I like it. All right. So I've got my scorekeeper present, and I just want to make sure my timekeeper is present because those things are both really important. And that's it. And then we're gonna do these 4 poems, y'all. 4 poems.
But are you gonna give a shout out and say goodbye to the poets that that are not moving on to the final round?
Can you do that for us, Liz?
Yes. We're gonna give some love, and we're saying goodbye to Drew Drake, Quinology, Dove Dupree, and Sherry Purpose Hall. Thank you so much, poets, for bringing it. I've been thoroughly entertained and moved, and this has just been awesome. Great job to everyone. And now, Bout Manager, do you want to announce the 4 poets in the order that they will be performing, correct, in round 3?
This is the money round, y'all.
The money round.
The winner of this round will be the Southern Fried 2024 Individual Poetry Slam Champion. This is a 29 years old, y'all. This is a 29-year-old tournament. We are the largest poetry tournament in the universe and definitely the largest one on Zoom. So this is a big deal. Like I said, we've had poets from all over the world, and our final 4 poets of the 2024 festival will go in this order from high to low: Ed Mabry, Asia Sampson, Ayana, and Nelly. Give it up for our 4 poets: Ed, Asia, Ayana, and Nelly.
All right, here we go. It's round 3. I'm excited. I know you're excited. The poets are excited. Everyone's excited. Excited is our word of the day. Excited is our word of round 3 in this Indie Slam Finals. First poet up in round 3 is Ed Mabry. Ed, when you're ready, let's get a mic check to make sure that everything is good to go for you.
Also, before
hear me?
before you get started, real quick, can we make sure everybody is muted? I don't see a mute sign on you, Judge 5. If you wouldn't mind just making sure you're muted for us.
Oh.
I felt it.
I got you taken care of.
Thank you so much.
want to make sure we are all good. Ed, we got a good sound check from you. So judge or host, you can introduce our poet one more time and then we can go.
Okay, great. First poet up in round 3, Ed Mabry.
Between rounds, my mother texts me and says, "Hey, what you doing?" I replied, "I'm in the middle of a slam." She goes, "That's nice. I'm trying to pair my new cell phone to my car. So can you give me a minute?" Pages texts me and says, "I saw the piece about depression and fuck the slam. I just want to make sure that you're okay." And I say, "Ain't that some shit that my Cameroonian brother who just moved out to LA from DC checks on me? And ain't it funny how his name is Pages, like poems, like what we're supposed to be doing in the first fucking place." And then Blues texts me and says, "Yo, bro, you know, like best of luck. But what's crazy is right now, I would love to send you a picture of the fact I'm driving behind a tow truck that's towing a tow truck." And I think, fuck, maybe this is God speaking again, because metaphor is sometimes even the thing that's here to pick you up when you're broken down breaks down sometimes. So maybe we need to pay more attention to what we're actually doing in this process beyond the slam. Like when I see Julian with San Francisco on his mind as a Zoom backdrop, but he says he sits in LA, I say, brother, maybe we can meet each other across in MacArthur Park sometime. Promise me that once a week we'll check in and hug, let each other, we love each other's brothers, just to make sure we feel loved at least once a fucking week. Lord Santiago, named after France, and of course Santiago means supplanter, so supplanting yourself from France to America. Welcome, hello, how you doing? Millie, who looks at me with an intensity that I wish my last lover would have, or I don't know, maybe my father would have, or maybe my son who walked away from me one day because he thought poetry got between the two of us would have. When I see a black shear spelled out of A, realizing that black shear, so understand that Anthony realizes that he'd be nothing without her at the end of his name, and then like a black man that's surrounded himself with music and sound to try to keep the drowning out of how they put on our necks. And big ups to Allison, who ain't just a judge, but is everybody's auntie and mama, leaning on the couch, looking sideways, not as if judgment, like a judge would say, "You're doing good, baby boy, baby girl, but you can always do better." And like a black woman will always tell you to try to do a little better. And then I have to pause and say, please, to Sherry and Nelly, keep doing those fucking poems, because last time I checked, niggas get tired of poems about rape way sooner than they get tired of the motherfucking rapists in the process. So don't ever let them try to mute you down. Ayana, who cares how far you make it in the slam if you made it here. Asia, coming up after me don't mean you after me, because you're named Asia and Samson. So goddamn if you in a continent and a grown strength of a pillar of a Bible. So always believe that Eris will always be protected underneath your waiting and loving arms of you and your wife that I told you a million times I am jealous of. And ain't it like a black woman to keep us straight, Liz, Elizabeth, to make sure that she always hosts, guides us through this. We have a Cuban, Matthew, Saint Matthew, making sure that everything about is coordinated. How Adam Hensbo makes sure from the back scenes to keep everything going. White boy grew up in the process of a black Southern fried. Ain't that the ultimate concept of allyship? So hello, Adam, as in firstborn, as in first white man in black space, as in we thank you for being here through this whole process of all of us being here together. Maybe I was right. Maybe we're all just tow trucks. And sometimes we break down and we need tow trucks to get us. And maybe that's what this bout is for. Us pulling each other to the next destination.
All right, my judges, we need those scores. Let's get them up there on the screen. And we have 1, and we have 2, and we have 3, and we have 4, and we are waiting on one more. We have 5 from lowest to highest. We have a 9.5, a 9.6, a 9.9, a 10, and a 10. Thank you so much, judges. Scorekeeper. Ready for that score. And that gives our poet a 29.5. Thank you, scorekeeper. Thank you, judges. We are moving right through this final round. Our next poet up is Asia. And
Check.
Asia, when you are ready, let's get a mic check to make sure everything is good to go.
Check.
Thank you so much. We can hear you. We can.
A guide on how to be a slam poet. First, obviously, write something. A good place to start is search for trending topics, scour button poetry, or Right About Now to see what kind of poems these kids are writing these days. Try to sound like them too. Don't feel comfortable with that? Then write something catchy that panders, like, you know, a guide on how to be a slam poet. Not your thing? Well, I can tell you traumas always scores well, so search your traumas. Don't have traumas? Find one, am I right? Okay, let me not get misunderstood. I am fully aware you probably do have traumas that you do need to write about in order to heal, in order to get closure. If it moves you, write those poems. Just make sure you stop at 3 minutes because that might make for a great poem to compete with. And speaking of competing, make a stigma of reading from paper. Make a stigma of performing new poems like this. Because when scores are on the line, the only logical choice is to pull out your classics. And from there, pull out all the stops. Put your game face on so people can see how serious you are. Off stage, make sure they see you pacing in the hallway, mumbling, practicing your poem to yourself. On stage, stand at the mic with your hands in prayer. Take that deep breath for dramatic effect and use phrases like ink in your veins or fire on your tongue, or drop some abstract metaphor followed by the phrase which is to say, followed by you breaking down the metaphor for us. Want to level up? Listen to every poet before you, take lines from their poems and drop it into a freestyle. And don't forget your hand movements, the dramatic reaches, the finger twists, the arm flails, or if you're bendy, dance in your poem. And even if you perform that same poem 100 times, find a way to squeeze out a tear so everyone can see that the poem still makes you cry. Basically, just do everything I've done in this poem so far, and you, dear poet, might actually score high. I'm sorry. No, truly, I am. I am not the type to gather the fallen leaves at the floor of my lungs and shape them into a ball, which is to say, I'm not performing this poem to throw shade. This is a poem I am writing to myself. This is me putting an X-ray to my throat to see if the words I breathe are still pure or if it's been filtered by some need to make a spectacle of my hurts. Because honestly, I'm afraid, y'all, afraid to drift too far from the art, afraid to be too caught up in my own legend, afraid I'll forget that at the base of it all, it's still just words. No matter how much we dress up what's inside, the truth is, if you want to be a poet, the only legitimate advice you need is this: write true, write genuine, write like your next exhale hinges on your next words and you're about to write your way to healing. Everything else is just presentation. So dance if you want to, shout if you must, do everything you can to punch the crowd in the gut, but just know that despite all that, your words will still be the only thing that matters. And if what most of us have come for, it's what most of us have always held dear, so sure, go in, poet. Spit that shit, poet. Just don't forget to remind us again and again why we're here.
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. And we have 1, and we have 2, and we have 3, 4, and waiting for one more. And we have 5. From lowest to highest, we have an 8.9, a 9.5, a 9.6, a 9.7, and a 9.8. Thank you so much, judges. And my scorekeeper is calculating the score. That gives our poet a 28.8. Moving this final round right along, our next poet up is Ayana. When you're ready, let's get a mic check to make sure everything's good.
Hello, hello.
Thank you so much. You're good to go.
When I saved my ex from suicide, I didn't feel like a hero. There is no honor in making someone feel like dying and refusing to let them. I remember it like it was yesterday. You see, I've always been a light sleeper. So when I heard the constant knocks, I figured you were expecting friends. When I opened my eyes to see you hanging, I quickly realized that me and death were the only invited guests here, and there you hung. Your face a blue sky without oxygen. Your body an earthquake of convulsions tremoring, and I knew it was my faults that got you here. For 2 years, I've tried to write about my ex's attempt at suicide, and this is as far as I've gotten. This is when it becomes too hard, a knot in my throat. Too heavy, a burden to carry. Too hard, a reality to relive for 2 years. I've tried to make this pain sound poetic, Triggering myself back into trauma for the sake of writing a good piece. This poem has eaten me whole for years. And here I am, still trying to give you a piece of my brokenness. Do you know what it's like to watch a Black man hang and have no lynch mob to point the finger to? No social injustice to blame, just some misconstrued perception of what love is. Why is it that poetry has a way of healing everyone but the person who writes it? Uses just enough literary devices that you overlook the cry for help, consider it a good concept when a poet has an emotional breakdown on stage. Is it really a release or a relapse? Because every time I revisit this poem, I can practically feel my lungs collapse, my eyes water, my heart palpitate for 2 years. I've tried to find the words to say. There are days when I have more heartache than healing, more suffering than survivor, and I am tired of seeing people face their demons for the first time since the first time on the stage. I do not know why we romanticize this notion of poetic distress, how we have learned to suppress our anxiety without properly addressing our affliction, how we have become so addicted to high scores that we are willing to sacrifice our sanity as if poetry can be both therapeutic and the very reason to go seek therapy. I have learned that not all pain deserves this platform. And that is not to shame those who have survived and are willing to share, but to give an alternative to those who constantly feel the pressure to bleed and have no idea how to heal after reopening that wound. For 2 years, I've tried to roll back this tomb, have tried to make a resurrection of the very thing that haunts me, hoping to make art of this anguish. You see, when I saved my ex from suicide, y'all, I didn't feel like a hero. There was no honor in making someone feel like dying and refusing to let them. I still remember it like it was yesterday. But today, I have chosen not to trigger myself back into trauma, into depression, and into grief for the sake of writing a good poem.
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. And we have 1. And we have 2. Pretty soon we're gonna have 3. There it is. And we have 4, and we have 5. From lowest to highest, we have a 9.5, a 9.7, a 9.8, a 10, and a 10. Thank you so much, judges. Scorekeeper, ready for that score? And that gives our poet a score of 29.5. All right.
Teams, please make sure your mics are muted.
Thank you, Bout Manager.
No problem.
All right, we are moving on to the last poet in the final round. Last poet is Nellie Bass.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, we can hear you and see you. You're good to go.
Yes, but we're getting an echo. Can you say something again?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can. Can you make sure all your devices are on silent that you're not using?
I think it went away.
All right, try one more time.
Another mic.
Last semester in college directed Barely Legal Me into a casting couch to star in my first film, Gang Bang by Tuition Fees. And I feel like Diamond from the Players Club. I'm just trying to get my college degree and shit. My graduate program, Term Madam, reminds me how I've worked my body 9 to 5 to fulfill a manager's fantasy and achieving the American dream. So I'm no amateur at selling myself out for money. So I learned how to make this sex work. When an eviction notice made me put a dollar amount on my body, I wondered how the sight of someone starving could turn a man on so much. Poverty poses, pin girl in corset, and desperation becomes a peep show dressed in fishnet. The way men worship me. Well, why do you think the word whole is in the word holy? And Jesus taught me how to turn my first trick, to turn my flesh into enough bread to feed an entire family. When asked how I became a dominatrix in college, I say, well, Who's more qualified to administer suffering than my blackness whose forced submission never gets a safe word? Who's more certified to teach discipline than a black woman who's taught her worth is collared to the possession of a man? 400 years and counting, beat us into servitude, descendant of a slave, so you tell me what I don't know about bondage. Or being restricted when someone else rather see me tied down. Life taught me how to be a sadist. From being at the knees of America's violence who offers no aftercare for the impact. So yes, I know the ins and outs of BDSM. How to mind fuck you into thinking you can't be in a position of power, so I treat my bottoms well. Cause all I know is the bottom for superiority complex, then pissed on, forced into worship. My college debt pimps me in the same apartment I can't afford that allowed his bloodline to turn the stiletto of my heel into an auction block. And here we play 50 Shades of Slave, white boy and I. My oppression will be something he empties out his wallet and begs for. And white clients say they don't see color, but wasn't it the fear of blackness, the fetish that brought them here? Racism, get masked in latex, reminds me how I can be goddess or nigger, depending on what I'm wearing. But isn't that the way whiteness tends to imagine blackness? Objectify it into a dangerous things white can't take its hands off. White sub asked me to beat him, choke him till he can't breathe while threatening to kill him. And I can't help but wonder if my Facebook feed filled with black bodies slain in blood inspired this. Trauma porn, genre, black bodies fucked by the system, and social media exposes how the world's kinks are spilling out for amateur videos where no one watches for the storyline. They just fast forward to see how whiteness gets off, and white sub asked me to beat him as if his dick was reparations. And I wonder if the money is worth the humiliation we both paid for. Thank you.
All right, judges, we are ready for your scores. Get them up, get them up, get them up on the screen. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 from low to high. We have an 8.0, a 9.3, a 9.5, a 9.6, and a 9.8. Thank you so much, judges. And we are waiting on the scorekeeper. That gives our poet a score of 28.4. And guess what, y'all? We just wrapped up the Indie Slam Finals. Whoop, whoop!
Give a special round of applause for our judge. That's the last time, judges.
Thank you so much, judges.
This evening, yo,
Did
you have
it.
it in the capacity to turn on your camera, turn on your mic, and whoop for these judges, man. Y'all were great. Thank you so much, judges.
Thank you so much.
That was awesome.
Judges, you were phenomenal. We're going to do some final tabulations and let you know who won this competition. But y'all are good for the evening. I have my scores in. Should I just go ahead and read them off?
Go ahead, bout manager. Go ahead.
I'm saying, competitors, if you have anything that you need to say towards the end of it, just stick around. But in fourth place, with 83.3, please give it up for Nelly. Phenomenal work, Nelly. Phenomenal work. Shouts out to you and the entire New Drew team. Phenomenal stuff. In third place, with 86.2, give it up for Ayana. And in second place, with 86.3, please give it up for Asia Sampson. And that means that final place, I believe the 6-time now champion and returning defending champion of last year. Please give it up for the incredible, the GOAT. Give it up for Mr. Ed Avery.
Congratulations, Ed. Congratulations to all the poets.
Incredible
That was
stuff.
awesome.
Great stuff, everybody. Ed, I wish we had moon pies and RC Cola to give you, but we will.
Moon pies are on sale at Publix right now.
Yeah, we will give you money so you can buy those things. But with that being said, judges, you're good to go. Thank you so much for logging on. Stick around if you want to, but you are good.
I listen, Cuban, my old teammates.
That's right, old teammates.
I couldn't say anything earlier, but all of my Nora team is here except for Sonia.
That's right, because she lives
Well,
in
actually,
Portland,
Sonia
Oregon,
is here.
and she sucks.
Sonia is here. Hold on. I'm gonna get Sonia. Hold on.
Catalyst on the screen. That's what's gonna happen.
My Nora team. What a journey it was.
Julian, is this gonna be on YouTube? We are gonna post. It isn't streaming now on YouTube.